Welcome back, everybody. Hi, everybody. Please welcome Terri Suzuki from Kigaru Spiritual Journeys. Hey, Terri, thanks for joining me again.
Thanks for asking me on.
So, you are a popular commodity today. You were on Allie's channel from Heart and Soul Connected.
Yeah. And we
That
went a
was
little longer because uh, we found out that because I was supposed to be on Kelly Dozen Cats Wellness at 12, and she is not well. So we're a little under.
Oh, I
So
heard that. I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry. I'd like to send her some healing. And I said in the chat, it came, there was a little, hey, T-Barb's here. Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining us. And Mama Bear is here. Hi. So I was sending her a little message in the chat on Allie's show when she said she wasn't feeling well. My guides were telling me that to send her an angel to nurse her back to health.
wow.
I know. It's the first time I've ever heard that. I was like, oh, I got to tell Kelly that that was actually a message and not just me typing it. Look,
Wow.
Starfish is here. Hey, you guys. Hey, you
Thanks.
guys. The whole gang's here, and Carolyn Adams. Hi. Thanks for
Cool.
joining us. Thanks for joining us. I know this is such a surprise. So, Allie, you went a little longer on Allie's show because Kelly had said she was not feeling well and was going to cancel the show. And for the same reason, you and I decided to just pop on because there wasn't going to be a show at this time. So,
Yeah. I'm all still all spiritually connected, so might as well do something with it.
absolutely. Me too. Me too. I'm very well connected and prepared at this time and looking forward to doing some readings together. So, while we're waiting for others to catch on to the impromptu live here, why don't you tell us a little bit about the fair, the psychic fair that you were at this past weekend?
Yeah, I will. I got so many stories now, and also more guidance from my spirit guides who want me to go back to putting out videos. And in this case, they want me to tell these stories live. So I'll still do that, even though I tell this story, I'll tell it more in depth. But on Allie's channel, I talked about the lady who was looking for love and success in her career, and it was the most astounding. They were all astounding, though. I have to say, every single reading I did that weekend was astounding. But I think what I'll talk about is a lady who was a light worker, since so many of us are light workers. Now, just to back up a second, I think in a show with you and Terry Lee, or you and me and Joan, I don't remember, I keep seeing people uh, being shown to me in these red sneakers. They're kind of like, they have kind of like the little white rubber cap and the thick soles, and they're red. And when I see them in readings, they have like little Nike feathers on them. So this reading of this lady, right away, what struck me is when she came in and sat down, she had on those sneakers, those
Oh
exact
my
sneakers, sans feathers. And I was just like, oh, this is going to be good. Already I knew this is going to be good. And she also was wearing a sweater that said love across her chest. And I could see that she was like beaming out love. I could pretty much visually see it. And so I tapped into her, sorry, there. I tapped into her energy, and I'm trying to think, I don't quite remember what she asked me to read on. But when I tapped into her energy, there she was on my stage. And the angels had sent her dancing. She was dancing across my stage. She was like doing ballet moves, and she was just free-spirited, just dancing. And the colors surrounding her were kind of peacock colors, and there was red shoes. And suddenly she was dancing, and they suddenly froze her. And they froze her on one tiptoe, like a ballet dancer. And she was kind of leaning out like this, and she had one leg up behind her. So she almost made like a vase shape. And they said, she needs to be way more lighthearted. She needs lightheartedness. And in fact, they had this liquid. The angel had this liquid that was kind of sparkly orange. I'd never seen orange liquid before. I usually they have gold or silver or a silvery oily substance, and this big drop of gold. And so she has to, again, like everybody else, they have to agree to the healing or not. And of course, she said yes. That's why she was there. And they drifted into her, and it just filled her up. And in this case, it probably was filling her spiritual body, but it almost looked like it was filling in a gap in her real body almost. And they said, we need to lighten her up. We want her to experience more joy, more happiness. And then they went on, they unfroze her and let her keep dancing. And then they said, she needs to remember her path is her path. She can't fix them. She can't make them do the path that she wants. She takes on too much of them. She becomes way too heavy, and she needs to lighten up. And she must choose happiness. We want her to choose happiness. Just be happy. That's the only thing we require of her is happiness. When I said happiness, she started swearing. Um, she was all with this until then the happiness, and then she started swearing a little bit. And that was kind of the end of our reading. And she let me know that she was a light worker. She was very spiritually adept, and she was called here to help teenagers. And
Wow.
she had been taking on too much of their burdens. She knew that she needed to become more lighthearted. She knew it. She knew it the second she saw it in what I was seeing, kind of, and that she needed to lighten it up, and that their journeys were their journeys. Her journey is her journey. That doesn't mean she can't help them, but she shouldn't be taking it on to her. To her. And she started swearing when I said happiness, because she had taken a very long journey down somewhere in South America where Lake Titicaca is, to have this spiritual journey down there. And at the end, there's many things that happen, but at the very end, these grandmothers come out and give everybody a reading. And she was the last person to get a reading. And these were very in-depth readings and directions of what they should do spiritually. And the grandmothers got together and they came to read her, and they said, just one thing, happiness. You need to choose happiness. You need to be happy. And that was it. That's all she got. And she was so mad because she thought she was going to get this big thing. And even the guides were like, wow, we have never seen such a pointed, short message.
Wow.
So she was like, in fact, during the reading, she's kind of like, okay, I give up. I give up. She wasn't talking to me. I give up. I get it now. Because I guess she had just gotten a reading from someone else who said the very same thing. So,
Wow.
yeah. But that was amazing. I could just feel the love kind of beaming out of her heart. Um,
Wow.
she's the only one I didn't have to teach, you know. It was all weekend long. I was reading people who were really coming into their gifts or brand new gifts. And I spent a lot of time teaching people like about the gift, that they, kind of almost saying like, oh, you're not mentally ill. This is a gift, and how to kind of where to keep going to develop the gift, or if they didn't want it, how to stop doing it. But
Wow. That is amazing, Terry. That is just so beautiful, and it's very uplifting. I mean, we have so many people here. There's thousands of people here in on our YouTube community that we all know that we are on our path, on our spiritual growth path, and we all have many abilities, and we all know how to raise our vibration. Because when you come into this if you watch this video, you don't even have to be in the chat. If you're watching this video, your vibration must rise in order to receive and understand the messages coming back and forth. We all raise our vibration together. And this is what makes it so special for us and hopefully special for you as well.
Right.
Um, it's amazing that when we both have been doing these psychic fairs and to meet people in person, it's like there's so many of us. There's so many of us that have this. We can feel the energies. We can receive the messages, and we have that frequency inside of us. We're like, you're one. You're one. Now, granted, at a metaphysical fair or a psychic fair, you're going to find more
Right.
higher vibrational beings, but still, it's amazing how many people
Mhm.
have these abilities. And while we're listening to Terry tell us a little bit about her room that she read, just to describe it to us, if you wouldn't mind, I just want to say hi to MJ420. Viviani is here. Welcome back, Viviani. Thanks for coming back. Esther G is here, and T Barb is here. Thanks for coming back, T Barb. And Wiki is here, and Carolyn Adams, Luann is here. Hi, Luann, and Mama Bear, and I don't know if I said T Barb, Starfish, Carolyn. Um, and if you all wouldn't mind, just to make a record, if you feel comfortable, give me an idea of what your ability is that you think. If Are you an empath? Are you psychic? Are you intuitive? Are you energetic? Can you feel energies? Do you see lights? Sort of just, and you can do it one at a time, or you can list them all together. But just let me know. So it's sort of a validation to each other that we all have these abilities. We all have uh, special uh, experiences that we have in our lives that brings us all together. And while you're all doing that, Terry, just tell us a little bit about your the room that was filled with people. How many people were in this room?
So I did private readings at my booth, which was against a sofa area. And so that was so nice. I could just invite them in. They could sit on the comfy sofa and I could turn my chair. But I also each day for 1 hour went into a room and did mini readings. So it's kind of like what we do all the time, but in person. And so each day, the night that I did it on Saturday night and Sunday in the afternoon, I was super surprised that the room filled up almost all the way. Almost all chairs were taken. And you have to be super brave. You have to ask for a lot of courage to do that, to stand in front of a bunch of people and do this live and potentially fail, potentially. And I think everybody notices that Jean and I, and a lot of readers, when we first tap in, we have to close our eyes a lot. And I would have to, in these cases, what I did is I would park my butt on the table. I would stand in front of the table that we could sit behind. And I had to touch the table, though, so that if I closed my eyes, I didn't fall over. I'd lose my balance and fall over. But it was fun. And I had to take some chances. The first two readings of each of those were a failure. Not exactly a failure, but they weren't like immediate right away. I just got somebody. One spirit was a boyfriend that passed away early, and
Oh,
they
that's right.
they wanted closure, kind of, from the other side. And the problem was, is the boyfriend didn't want to talk to me, and he whispered he showed me colors and then he just whisked away. I could not hold on to his spirit, so I didn't get any message at all. But I just, said sorry for your loss and apologized to it. That I just couldn't hang on to his spirit enough to get a message. And that in itself might have been the message. Um, then the other one at the beginning, I was reading. Somebody wanted a reading from their brother-in-law who had passed away two years before, and she was still crying. Her and her husband are just devastated by the loss of this man, and I don't consider it a failure if I can't read them. Like if I can't, I mean, we're not guaranteed that we're going to get a reading from everybody. It's just not guaranteed. But I feel like it's a failure if I describe them incorrectly. So I immediately saw him, and I saw him in like a Cinderella's castle. It was like a castle that looked kind of rainbowy, and he feels the door. And here's where I made my mistake. I just stayed where I was. I didn't pull back. I should have pulled back, and I would have saw that this is more like a children's castle, and that he filled the door because it's a small door. I just assumed it's a castle and it's a big door, so he must have been a big man. So right off the bat, I felt she's like, no. And I'm kind of like, ooh, wow, I just failed in front of all these people. And so I told her, well, I really do feel like I have him. And I said, and I told her before that I might not be able to read her because she's still crying after 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, we have to go through her, I have to go through her energy to get to
Right.
him. And with that much grief, it would be very, very, very difficult. Once in a while, a spirit can really overcome it, but she was deeply in grief still. And since I told her, I think I got her, I think I got him still. And I said, he's not talking to me, but he's giving me deep feelings, two really deep feelings. And I was thinking of you, Jean, right about then, because you're the clairsentient. You feel everything. I don't necessarily get that part. But he was giving me two very clear feelings. And he's like, so I told her, I said, he feels foolish. He feels like he did something very, very foolish. And he feels regret that he did this foolishness, regret that he's not there now. And I'm sorry, but that's all I'm getting. But you know what? Somehow that answered her question, because her eyes got big and she's like, thank you, and sat down. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder what happened there. Maybe he chose a short contract, or maybe he committed suicide, or I don't
Maybe
know
she
what.
said, if you come through, tell me how foolish you were. And maybe that's the words that you used. And that's what made her convinced. I mean, you just never know the parameters that people are asking for when they're looking for
Right.
messages from loved ones. But
Yeah.
it is the most challenging thing I do, is to bring loved ones through, because the personalities and the chances for the misinterpretation is so great. And we do the best we can, and we try and give it in our own language, in our own description. And but it's one of the hardest things that we do. But thanks for sharing that, Terry. So let's take one little moment and let's look back. You guys are being so generous and sharing. I love this.
I wish I
Um,
wasn't on the phone so I could read them all.
I will bring them up. I will bring them up. That's what I'm doing here. Let me see. Okay. So MJ420 says, I've been listening to my inner voice and with good results. Very
Oh,
good.
see?
And T
Got to
Barb
move
says,
spirit guides.
healer, I believe, and I hear short and sweet answers from my guides. Really good gut instincts.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
T-Barb,
It's
you do.
sometimes we think it's us. We think an idea popped in our head, but that's our spirit guides.
Mm-hmm.
And T Barb also says, I was able to break through by doodling bubbles. Wow, that's really interesting. Is how did we eventually break through? Doodling bubbles. That's fascinating. Wow.
You
So,
know, a lot of psychic mediums either doodle or scribble to somehow get their human part out, and so that's amazing.
yeah, the left brain or the egoic brain or the analytical side
Yeah.
to keep that busy while we're over here. So Lisa, Leeza is how you pronounce Lisa's name. Lisa
Mm-hmm.
says, I was told I was an empath, but don't feel things except maybe crystals. For years, I've had interest in cards, but don't have the guts to read for others. That's okay. You can still just pull for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the fear is, not sure if it's a fear of what you might find out, you know. Sometimes that may be, or what the fear of what your abilities may grow to be, you know. So if you're feeling fear, it's not always the kind of fear that you think it might be. It may just be your own apprehension to finding out more about yourself. So let's see who else says. Carolyn Adams says she's an empath, intuitive, clairaudient, and claircognizant.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. Do we have some powerful people in our community? Wow. And Lee says, Lise, Lisa says, oh, yeah, Carolyn, I hear on my left side practicing intuition. Wow. I
Oh.
hear that. I feel it kind of over here, but actually, I was thinking about it, why it's over here. But was in a car accident early on in my senior year of high school, so I was wondering if maybe sometimes like a trauma will trigger it sometimes.
Mhm.
So Lisa, I'm sorry, I'm trying to kick this. She says, I feel pressure pressing on my bed. It feels like cats or dogs are walking on the bed, right? I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and I do remember getting these sensations as well. Wow.
I
Wow.
seen my cats were on the other side, jump up on the bed and walk over and then lay down by me.
You can
I
feel it
and I somehow I know which cat it is too.
because that's your knowing, that's your clear knowing. So Esther G says she's an empath and intuitive and still working within. Very good, Esther G. Very good. I think a lot of us are empaths too. I see a couple of people are asking or putting in their questions, and thank you very much. I've got them saved there. And questions, let me see. Okay, so JR says, sometimes it's hard for me to decipher between my psychic gifts from my anxiety and overthinking.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that can happen. Um, I'm going to share with you just a tip I have about anxiety. It may or may not work for you. It doesn't work for everybody, but it's an old speaker's trick. So, lots of celebrities and people that have to go onto stage, they get anxious beforehand. And so, what they do is they tense every muscle in their body. In fact, you guys can try it with me, but not their face because you don't want to crack your teeth or anything. So, if you want to do that for 20 seconds, just tense your calves, your thighs, your butt, your
Wow.
arms, everything but your face. Try to stop it like the neck and then release it. And you should feel a little calmer because what it does, if you were feeling anxious right now, you're probably not, but it uses up all the adrenaline in your body. Yeah, so it's the muscles use up the adrenaline, and then you can feel calmer instantly. That worked for my granddaughter. She was having anxiety, panic attacks, and I told her about this trick. And of course, she was already going to a actual medical person, but they okayed her doing it, and it worked for her. And I
Wow.
don't know if it worked for her because Grammy suggested it, and but uh, yeah. So that's one way to deal with anxiety. That's easy, available to everybody. And if you
And
do
so
it right, nobody knows you're doing it because you haven't tensed your face.
Mhm, mhm. And sometimes when we're receiving information or we're receiving messages or our guides are getting closer, it may feel like nervous energy and we may get confused, but it is just a practice and getting familiar with the energy and getting comfortable with the energy as well. Very good. Thanks for sharing, JR. And Carolyn Adams says she's been getting messages from her deceased relatives and guides for a long time. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And Warrior Girl says the medium that brought her through shared that we received messages from spirit through the left hand side of our brain. Never knew that, although always said I get hits out of left field. Now this is left and mine comes in, everybody's a little bit different, but I do know a lot of people get things on the left as well. I've heard that several times. Wow.
I
Wow.
feel like my I'm claircognizant, and it's like mind to mind. But and so when people hear me say, I hear them saying, I'm just using that because that's what we understand. I'm not hearing them. I'm feeling it. But I feel the right side. I feel kind of upwards in the right side too. Yeah. It's kind of a
Wow.
roundabout there.
And Hypnicity says, I'm an empath, intuitive, psychic, and I think a healer or a shaman. Very good.
Mm,
Wow. See, our team, our community, our everybody here that is here and is watching later, we understand that it may just be our faces on the YouTube screen, but we understand that all of you are very, very talented and have your abilities and are practicing your ability. This is all part of the awakening and the ascension and raising our frequency and the new earth and all of these concepts, all of the astrological planets aligning, all of this is raising our the going from the third dimension to the fourth dimension, frequencies, awakening. All of these terms are interchangeable and not interchangeable, but they're all relative and I know that each and every one of you are very, very powerful. And we understand that you're here to raise your vibration and to assist us in
mhm.
creating just creating a container of energy for us to do our readings through.
Yeah.
We can
They
feel it. And
hold open space for us. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Oof, wow. Aw. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Lena. Hi, Willow. Wow, everybody is here. Thank you
Mm,
very much, everybody who is participating. I really do appreciate that. And Gertrude is here and
okay.
Esther. So let's go ahead and get started with readings. I think I have several starred, so we'll do as many as we possibly can. And if we call your name, if you can just say hi or hey and let me know that you're here. And so I have Mama Bear and then I have Starfish. And so let's go ahead. Mama Bear says, who is the spirit in my mom's house? Is it a little boy? Interesting. See, Mama Bear is connected too. She just wants some validation.
Mhm.
Wow.
Um, I am seeing, kind of feeling a lot of confirmation that yes, there's a little boy in your mom's house. It feels like it feels like it's old, and he somehow has connections either to the land or the structure that drew him there. he's comforted by your mom's spirit. He's very comfortable being there. Um, hmm. As I tried to tune in and talk to the little boy, he said his name was Alex. Um, okay. He just feels well and comfortable there. Um, I'm not completely sure that he's gone all the way over to the other side and back. So, and I met a little girl like that this last weekend too, that had just found comfort and stayed with the person. What are you getting, Jean?
I was getting yes, but I couldn't get a definite on whether it was a boy or a girl. I was just getting an energy there that was sort of hanging out and just wanted to participate with kind of be with other beings. Sort of that he's there not to be out on his own by himself. Sort of like he's comfortable in like that atmosphere. But I did also get that he wasn't. He may not have crossed over. And Mama Bear, if you want to suggest to him and call in like Archangel Metatron, or maybe call in even one of this little boy's ancestors to help greet him and let him know the reasons why. I think that we're all capable of assisting so many souls that are here on this earth plane that have not actually crossed over to the other side. Um,
And if he crosses over and goes back to the creator, he can then come back if he wants to still, or if you guys want him to. Um, yeah. He's I don't see anything bad about him, nothing malevolent, nothing. I'm not even sure he's a drag on anybody's energy. He just likes being there.
Okay. Mama Bear is saying somebody was murdered in the house before mom moved there. Also, my mom had a baby that passed. Oh,
Oh.
so we think it might be one of them.
I'm going to lean more towards the baby because this little entity is very happy and comfortable, and yeah, I would think if they were murdered, there'd be a little more unrest.
Right. Right. Wow, Mama Bear. Yeah, you can get in touch with Terry or myself if you want some help with that. But I feel very confident, Mama Bear, that you have the abilities to do that, and that you already know a lot of this information, and you're looking for validation, which is very important as well. But yeah, either one of us can help you, or find a friend that you know that does some of this, and I
It's not hard to do. You just tell them where to go, what they can expect, and to look for the light, and they usually will go. Um,
yep.
the little girl energy that I saw this last weekend, as I was instructing the lady that she was attached to, she was of course listening, and she got all excited. She left without us. She just left. Just like I was going to give the lady like, do you want to get rid of her or don't you? And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, but we're too late. She is. She found out she could be any age she wanted and wear any clothes she wanted, and she was off.
Aw, she said it was her baby brother. His name was Martin.
Oh,
Aw,
okay.
yep. How beautiful would it be for you to assist this soul? And you probably have had lifetimes together before. How
Oh,
beautiful. I felt as though this energy didn't want to be alone and just really was very comfortable around the family. So,
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Oh, if it's my baby brother. Oh, was
Oh,
his. Okay. All right.
I could have been picking up a different name from the other person. I who knows?
Interesting. Thank you very much, Mama Bear, and please let us know how the situation turns out. That's very interesting. So Starfish says, "May I have a brother? May I have a brother? May I have a message from my brother Cliff, please?"
Oh,
All right, very good. So let's check in with Cliff. He says he loves he told me right away. He says your her energy is high and her vibration is raising and her frequency is raising, and he says he can feel your light and he can feel your essence, that he can come in closer to you because of your vibration and frequency is higher, and he is close to you and watching over you, and he's really very proud of you.
what I'm getting is I'm seeing you on my stage, and he's standing right behind you, and he has his arms around you, like he feels a little taller than you, like he's got his arms coming over your shoulder, kind of clasping in the middle, kind of holding you tight, but you both are kind of weaving a little, like he's like rocking you back and forth a little. Claire, do you have a message? So for some reason, I'm kind of standing behind you on the stage, kind of looking out to where Cliff is looking out to, and I'm looking out onto the ocean, and from the stage, which seems to be in your living room, and he's just saying, "I'm proud of you, sis. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. I'm going to help you. I'm going to provide solace and comfort to you. I, yeah, he's acknowledging your vibration, and it's weird. Somehow he's acknowledging it, but he's like, it's almost like, it's like I'm seeing a little hat do a little helicopter over his head, kind of like he's got a Santa hat. It's very long, and he's whirling the little pom pom around. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I don't know how to describe it any other way but that way. And yeah, he's going to be there for you. He's going to help you. He's going to help Phil too. He says, yeah. So.
He's keeps saying to me that she's not alone, you're not alone, and that we may not be there in the physical, but we are here and we are offering our support and our strength and our guidance and our love. And he's all of these things are very available to you, and all you need to do is to ask. All you need to do is to ask. So, wow, very nice. Starfish says, thank you. You're welcome, Starfish. Thank you. Thank you very much for your question. Now we have T Barb. She would like a message from her beautiful angelic Aunt Beatrice, who passed from ALS. Wow, you would have to be an angel. Wow. She probably earned her wings from going through the difficulty, is what I hear in this world, in her, for her body to experience all the difficulties, um, and that she was able to be angelic through it all. Go ahead, Terry.
My gosh. This is harking back. Jean and I were in a reading early this morning. We always practice with a bunch of really cool ladies on Sunday morning. And I was shown a vision, and I'm shown this vision for Beatrice. Beatrice is showing me the same vision. So all of us, when we're over there, are so incredibly brave, so incredibly amazing. We're over there in comfort and love and everything good. And we agree to go on a mission to Earth. We agree to the veil. We agree to not see. We agree to go into darkness that we have no clue about. And she is showing me that when ALS kind of took her voice away, took her body away, movements away, that she was back. She was back in that state, the state of just believing, of just agreeing to do a wholehearted tour. And we should think of everybody like we're all rocket pilot. We're all rocket pilot. We're all amazing. We all decided to do this, and so she's showing me how brave she is. She's showing me how brave you are, because you I see that in a little bit somehow you're drawing off energy from her. Some of this, whenever I read you, T Barb, I remember them listing all your capabilities and the dogged determinedness to serve. And I feel like some of that comes from her, that that helps you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. T-Barb's coming back with some interesting feedback. She said she was an actual angel on earth her whole life, very giving and very kind. And then she says, oh my gosh, I wrapped her in angel wings every day to try and comfort her. She was totally brave. And this is your ability. This is what Terri can see the similarity in your angel, in your energy. See, the word angel flew out instead of energy. That's no accident.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. She was probably a catalyst for you as well, T-Barb. Almost like her energy and her example enabled you to tap into this inside yourself as well. How
Mhm.
beautiful.
Wow.
She says she feels her a lot. I feel, yeah.
Yeah.
I do know that there are people in our lives and even family members that are sent here to help guide us along the way and inspire us and to give us something to aspire to. And after they pass, they are like guides for us, and they are still there inspiring us. So I believe they can be in human form and after they pass, and it doesn't act, it could be a very dear friend, it could be a very dear family friend, it could be a direct relative. It's just the experience of different people in our lives and who inspires us and who helps us along our journeys. How
Mhm.
beautiful is that? That is amazing. I'm thinking of somebody very special in my life as well.
She's a beautiful spirit, really beautiful. And
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 it's
I don't
almost,
mean beauty in this. I'm just the soul. Very beautiful. Very
and it's like a mirror to you. I remember, T-Bar, I told you a story, or I did a reading for you about mirroring. And I feel like this is one. And you're like, what do you mean by mirror, Jean? I remember that because I remember having to explain it. And I believe that she was one of these mirrors to you. It's just for us to see our own soul, to feel and remember our own soul. And to recognize the soul in somebody else is to recognize our own soul. And this is what I mean by a mirror. It's like a mirror of souls, of our souls. And she was a mirror to you so that you would be able to see your own soul. How beautiful.
yeah.
Really nice. She said, yes, I feel her a lot. Wow. Very nice. Thank you, T Barb. And thank you, Terri. That was really very, very touching. All right. So I have Carolyn Adams here, and she has two parts here. This is part one. She says, She wants a message from her great grandmother Elsie, and then it went on to say, "Is she part of my higher self?" Because she feels so connected to her. Her great grandmother Elsie, is she part of her higher self?
It's interesting. I see you on my stage, and they've put something that almost looks like a rainbow over your head, but like slots. And I feel like all of your relatives are part of you. They're all sending love and light to you. They're all interacting with you. And I I can't tell if she's like well, I guess this would have to be with your higher self. But they are all pouring into you, every one of them, not just her. Um, because you have the capacity. You have the capacity to accept their information, in particular, her information. Um, I think they help you on your job too. I think you see through all the bullshit. Sorry, I don't know if I should say that exactly that raw, but they somehow help you do your job and help you be the best, where that you have a little extra sight, it seems like.
Wow, very nice. Well, Carolyn Adams, what I feel as though she is part of a guide for you, and you also have an aspect of her that you allow to come through you, whether it's inspiration. She comes through you with inspiration. She comes through you with words. She comes through you with um, just certain things that help you on your way, and she shines through you. It's an aspect of her that's inside of you, and I feel as though this is like a guidance, but it's not a reincarnation. It's not a her entire soul, and it's not she is not your higher self, but she's very close as a guide, and she comes through, and you allow her to shine through your soul, almost like when people say, I'm watching your life through your eyes. When our loved ones on the other side say, I can see what's going on in your life through your eyes. And I'm experiencing the high points and the low points through your eyes. And the I feel as though that this is what I mean by you allow her to shine through you and to inspire you, that you're open to her energy. And I do feel as though she's a guide, and maybe even an aspect of your soul of her soul is intertwined with your soul. But that's very interesting, Caroline. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's amazing.
We have an amazing group here. Thank you all for being here. Okay, I have four more, and then I'm Terry. We're about 48 minutes. Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I think I probably shouldn't go past like 1 hour 15. I'm
Yeah, we'll try and get all these done. So I have Esther, JR, Lisa, and Lena. So JR says, may I have a reading from my father? And JR, if you could please give us your father's name, and I'll look for it right after we do Esther. So Esther says, Esther G. Hi, Esther G. May I please have a message from my pet buddy? I miss him so much. Is it a dog? I assume, right, buddy?
I don't know.
Uh,
I
uh-huh.
would think Woody's a dog, but
Yeah. Esther, if you wouldn't mind confirming that it was, and
I
JR, if you could send me your father's name. Go ahead, Terry. What?
no, I was just encouraging you to ask for that. Can we go on to another question while they're responding?
Good idea. Okay, so Lisa is asking the infamous, may I know the names of my guides? So Lisa, this is it's a tough one for me, but Terry has been able to do this before, so let's see what we can find out. And I've also heard that sometimes they want you to discover this.
Yeah.
Esther, I did see your response. I haven't heard anything back from JR yet. Thank you. So Lisa Niedermeyer wants to know, may I know the names of my guides?
Okay, so I'm just gonna, it's just gonna take a little bit because they're showing me something on the stage and I'm trying to pay attention here, and let me just kind of look into it a little bit more.
All right. Well, not unfortunately, but on uh, typically I never do this, but something came through, so I'm just going to say it. It's Angelo, is what I hear, and then I was doubting myself. I'm like, could that be that easy? Like I heard the name, so I just checked with my pendulum, and it said yes. So Lisa, I would suggest that you also connect with your pendulum and ask a yes or no question, and just confirm if not unless you know an Angelo, or if there's an Angelo that's in your family that you know of that I may be picking up on. But I just heard the name Angelo.
Well, I got a name too, but I got kind of a wild story through the name. So I'm in an arena with a horse. Again, just like the horse I saw when I was reading in alleys, it's kind of a pinto pony, a paint two different colors. And your guide that I'm seeing is not this one's not Angelo, and he's saying you're the pinto pony, and he's
Mm.
trying to, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm working with her. I'm trying to get her to learn and to do things. And I heard two names. I'm not really sure which one is correct, but I heard Ross and I heard Haas. And he's got a big 10-gallon hat on like Haas. And he's all decked out in cowboy gear, and he's like, yeah, she's an interesting one. We're working with her. She's challenging, in a good way. They're not saying anything bad. And he kind of tips his hat, and so I think you can call him Ross or Haas. I think that would be fine. I just couldn't quite catch the first letter there, but interesting.
Wow. That is exciting because they often tell us, and I often get our guides in a car in a jalopy, and like you are driving, and they're trying to get you to let go of the wheel to let them do the driving and to do the guiding, and that's interesting. That horse, that trying to control the horse, trying to control the wild spirit, is very similar to the feeling that I get. That's very interesting. So, Lisa, that is two different types of information that you can work on and meditate on and see which one resonates with you, or even both. Maybe they're in two different aspects. So, let us know, Lisa, how you what you find out. And Sheena, I see your question. I'm sorry, we are finished with the gathering questions for today. And please do watch. We'll be on tomorrow evening, 5:30 Eastern, and we'll be back on Friday evening as well. So come back a little earlier, and we'll try and get your question then. Yeah, I know you never had a reading. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. So, all right, Lisa, thank you very much. So Esther is back, and she says it was her dog buddy was very protective with me and my disabled son from my ex-husband who was, oh no. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay.
I pretty much thought it was a dog because a dog came bounding onto my stage, a little medium-sized dog. Um, it looks a little bit beagle-ish, but not quite. Something bigger than that. Happy dog, happy dog. So, Buddy, what message do you have? Oh, I was standing up and Buddy like wanted me to sit down on the stage so I could pet him and so he could kind of get halfway in my lap, kind of. Just the front half of him. Okay, Buddy, what do you got to say? He's so happy you allowed him into your life. He was so happy to do his job. And it seems like he knew it was his job to not only help your son, but protect from narcissistic behaviors, to run interference. I feel like I see him interfering, like when something's about ready to blow up and go south, he suddenly runs in, goes, gets a toy or something, does something ridiculously funny and diverts the attention a bit because everybody's like, oh my God, look what Buddy's doing. And he's just saying, I'm over here, but I, like a lot of the passed on people you see, he said, I also can lend you energy when you think of me or when you ask me to help.
Anything else? Yeah, is that it?
That's it, sorry.
Okay. So, Esther, what I was seeing, I don't know if he's a pug. He looks like a little pug. He looks like those kind of big kind of puppy dog eyes, but sort of a smaller kind of I don't know. I don't know breeds, but he a little bit smaller of a face, but like that, those eyes were very magical. And he shows me himself wearing a Viking hat, one of those pointed hats with the horns on the side. And he was like with the sword, and he was like your protector, your Viking, uh, you know, uh, rescuer. He's like, I am here to fight for her, and I will protect her. And you're right. This is the energy, and no matter how small the dog may have been, may or may not have been, but he felt to me like he was a Viking warrior for you and on your behalf and on your son's behalf. And he still carries this energy, and he will be there to greet you. And he's like I saw him like sniffing and kind of looking up and sniffing and kind of looking up, like when Terry was saying that that she was sitting down next to him, and he was just kind of very excited and checking things out, like he could feel our energy in with his energy. um interesting. He was a Labrador. Okay, very beautiful, loving eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
He felt bigger once he was in my lap because at first I couldn't quite tell what his size was, but he did feel bigger or medium size, not a huge dog.
Very nice. Very nice. Wow. Okay. You know what? I don't see JR giving me his, maybe JR left for the day. But let me see. Thanks, Esther, for letting us know. And what a beautiful soul Buddy was.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have Lena. May I please have a message from my spirit guides? Hi, Lena. Thanks for coming. Oh, no, JR just gave me his dad's name, so we have it. Good. Thank you.
Okay.
So, Lena, may I have a message from my spirit guides? Thanks, Lena. I see you. They're just showing me that you've made great strides in the recent past, and that they're proud of you for holding your position, sticking to your guns, standing in your strength, or what is that saying? Standing in your power. And they're saying um, that you've come a long way and you're trusting yourself and you're trusting your guidance. And they said, we're here to help. We're here to help.
Are you
Yeah, go
done?
ahead. You can jump in. I'll see if there's any.
They're showing me the same thing, but using different metaphors. And this is the most, it's funny. And first, what they showed me was this huge crocodile on my stage with its mouth a little bit open. All the teeth are going down. And I'm like, what? What? This big crocodile. And inside the crocodile, you are dressed like Steve Irwin, a pith helmet hat on, a walking stick, some maps sticking out of your backpack, and you are coming out of the crocodile's mouth. You're using the tongue like a thing, you're going between the teeth, and you think you have just come through great danger. You've got, that you are moving in your path. But what you don't see, but I can see behind you, is all your spirit guides wearing the same outfit. You got one back there with a stick holding the crocodile's mouth open. You got a few over here, kind of like making sure the tongue doesn't go too much. You got a lot of help on this journey, a lot of help, and you can't see all the help behind you. And they're just letting you know that you're an intrepid explorer. You are going the right way. You got all the right tools and you got all the right help. This is a fabulous team behind you. They've got it all taken care of so that, yeah, it looks a little, the crocodile can move his mouth a little bit and you can feel the danger, but they got it going on back there. They got his mouth propped up and he cannot crush you. So I hope that says something more to you, that they see. I see you coming out of a hard journey. You had help, and there's still help, and they're still going to help you.
Terry, do you think that maybe she might be feeling a little trapped? Because that's what I'm getting when you're saying that, but she's not trapped. It may feel as though, and things around her may look as though she's trapped, but she
Um,
has the,
it could be that, because I feel like she's probably felt like she had to fight her way out of this, and there's a lot of people behind her, but she is successfully getting out of it. And yeah.
yeah, the entrapment cannot be successful. There is no way that the alligator can close his mouth with all of the support and all of you standing in your own power, that this is not possible. This cannot, um, that essence cannot be, um, I don't know what the words are. I'm sorry, I'm losing my words, but it can't come to pass. It will not happen. That you have the ability to maneuver and to outsmart this alligator's mouth. And there's no way the alligator can close his mouth. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
But I
really,
also assume, though, that's why I'm kind of agreeing with your entrapment, is from her point of view inside, those teeth would look like bars. They would look like you couldn't get through them, maybe. But she's getting through. She's
she
doing just
said that really meant a lot to her, Terry. She said it brought tears to her eyes.
good. I'm glad. I always feel like my job is done when you're crying.
Oh, and she says, yes, I had a rough go the last couple of years, but things are changing and getting better every day.
Oh, good.
Wow. Wow. So, JR is a female, and she said her dad's name is Leo, and she said she's willing to give up her question spot for a melody of Anna Lee. How generous.
Wow.
I'm going to allow you to do this because this will raise everybody's energy by allowing you to be so generous and giving. And wow, that's really very, very special of you, JR. And please do come back. We're here again tomorrow at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. We're here again on Friday, I guess around 5 or around the same time. And oh, well, now they're arguing. Melody of Annalise says, JR, that's okay. I just came on. All
Okay.
right, who's the
Who's
tiebreaker?
gonna win?
Who's the
Okay,
tie?
go
Let's go back to JR and see if we can get a message from her father, Leo. Let me just see. I have it start up here somewhere. Leo. All right. Let's see if we can get a message for JR. Thank you very much, JR, for offering that. It was very sweet of you. And thank you, Melody of Annalie, for coming on. And we understand that you caught us a little later and that you'll be back. And we're looking forward to JR is saying, Melody, take my spot. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh. I kind of think, Jean, this is a twofer reading
Okay.
because immediately I'm seeing a man on the stage. He's holding some flowers, but he has a backpack on, and I feel like the backpack has more to do with Annalie, and the front part, the flowers, has more to do with JR. I don't know. What do you think?
Let me see. So Melody says, I'm homeless now. Can you please tell me what town or state I should be in? No family.
Hmm.
Yeah, and if anybody in the chat knows of a good service in your area to shout it out, or if you are watching this later and you know of a good assistance and a what do they call that? A social program to assist people in this predicament. Let us know in the chat so that Melody of Annalie can come back and read it. Um,
So hang on. Melody of Annalie is the homeless one?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So I kind of okay, now I I wanted to look at a map of the United States. So oh wow. Okay. That's unusual. So this still feels like a two-part reading to me. Like I got JR's dad in the middle of the stage with a backpack on for Annalie. The backpack suggests traveling, and I saw him reach over with a pin and stick it right where Salt Lake City would be. So, you know, you have to still feel that yourself, but for some reason, I feel like he's saying there's support there, and that it's affordable, and that lots of nice people. Okay, so now I'm going to switch back to JR.
Can I just share with Melody saying, she's saying, I'm currently in Central California and can drive anywhere with her kitty Luna. And then Esther G says, I assume that there are United Way agencies who can help.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah.
These ways are everywhere, so that's good.
Carolyn just said, weird. I'm in Salt Lake City right now. Wow.
Oh,
Do you know of any programs in Salt Lake City? Maybe that's where she'll end up. But definitely, Annalie, definitely look for some services to take to help you in your immediate needs, and then maybe look into Salt Lake City.
Well,
Wow.
just find out about it before you just suddenly go there, whether you really want to be there or not. Just remember the motto of the day, is you live your life. You get to make your choices. So,
And JR also said that the flowers that you saw on her stage may be for her because it's her birthday today from her dad, Leo. Wow. So go ahead, Terry.
okay, well, it'll take me a moment. I'm going to tune in and read the flowers that Leo's holding because he's holding them for me to read. So Leo, tell me more. So he's showing me a bouquet of white flowers. Most of the flowers are way open. A few of them are past their sell-by date. They're a little limp. Um, Usually when I see something wrong with the flower they're holding, it tends to be that they feel like they had a failing and that they weren't able in this lifetime to kind of fix the failing. Now, they may not have actually failed. It may be that they feel like they failed, like he feels like he could have done more. It kind of also, feels a tiny bit like an apology, like he left a little too soon. Um, in that, he would have liked more time with you and more time experiencing the spiritual side of humanity. So Leo, tell me more. He says your life is a sweet and pleasant smell to him. I'm smelling the roses. I'm smelling this, and it just suddenly started. I can smell the roses. They're very pleasant. It's a sweet smell to him. He loves watching your life unfold, and it the smell of the bouquet is not so much of his bouquet, but of your bouquet, that you are giving off this lovely fragrance. So I feel like he's kind of showing me that he kind of wants to hug the bouquet, like he could hug you, but it would squish it too much. So I do think what he's trying to say is he's passing on a spiritual hug to you. Yeah. And I'm just kind of thrilled at his backpack for Emily. Okay.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Very beautiful. So, JR, what I was picking up for Leo is that he's showing me the knight in the tarot deck, and it's the fastest moving knight with both of his feet up, and I think it's the Knight of Swords or the Knight of Wands. Does anybody know? I'm not an expert. I don't remember all the tarot deck, but it's the one with both of his feet up. It's the fastest knight in the tarot deck. And I do feel as though his life was fleeting. His life was very fast paced and maybe didn't slow down enough to pay attention to you and look into your eyes and see your soul. I feel as though Leo is, this is also the tattered roses are sort of like from rushing through, rushing by. Maybe he had a lot of ambition, a lot of maybe wanting to work, maybe wanting to, go and do things and moving fast through life rather than slowing down and smelling the roses. But he also gave me the impression that you are the type that would take those roses and you would put them in a special magical water. You would give the water love, you would put little drops of gold in the water, and you would nurture these roses so that they would come back to life and be so vibrant and so magnificent that he knows that you can bring these roses back to life just by your sheer will and your angelic and fairy-like qualities. That you can just talk the roses back and say, you're okay, and like nurse the roses back to their full potential. And he's just saying how dear and how sweet your heart is, and he sees your soul, and he's just really sending you lots of love. And he's kind of burying himself, saying, I was a human and I had flaws. And like Terry said, he may not have had any type of, he may have felt that he had these flaws by rushing by life so fast. But that was very interesting how that all played out. Very interesting.
That I just love your reading. That makes me want to cry.
But I felt her energy to nurse those flowers back to health. The magical energy and the elemental. Okay, so Starfish told me she thinks it's swords too. I think it is the Knight of Swords. Something that was very fleeting, very quick, and wow, wow. Oh, okay. When he was his in his 40s. He JR
Yeah,
said her father passed away when he was in his
mhm,
40s.
yeah,
Wow.
early.
Magical, magical, magical people. Very special energy today. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, being so kind, being so generous, being so magical, lending your energies, your frequency, and your high vibrational love to everyone here in the chat now and who's watching and listening later. Everybody's going to feel this uplifting type of frequency that we're all sharing today.
Yeah.
Um, and thank you, Terry, for your special display of your abilities and just just the gifts that are coming through these readings. Very, very nice.
Thank you for inviting me on, and thank you for, I mean, the whole thing could be turned around towards you too. Well, sorry, wrong way. Yeah, your gifts always make mine go higher. You know, we both do that to each other, and of course the chat does too, because we know most of everybody in the chat, and they
Absolutely. And Lark is chiming in. Lark was uh, I don't know what they call it, lurking. Lark was lurking. And I see you, Lark, come in at the end and say much love to all and that you can't stay. I do see all of your messages, just so you know. But thank you for stopping by and putting in the chat. And thank you again, everybody. And it was a spontaneous type of show today. So thank you all for being here. And wow, I can really still feel the energies. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.